Hi there and welcome back to this week's trade recap, and I keep getting wrecked. Here, I only took one trade this week and it was a loss that I will just show right now. On Tuesday, my bias was kind of conflicted because we had these relatively equal highs. We had the new week opening gap also to be filled because here it still wasn't filled because we left this small area still to be filled that still hasn't been tapped. And on Tuesday we had CPI, and on the CPI candle we had a big burst of momentum to the upside. And the problem in there is that here we left this trendline liquidity that kind of act as conflicting draws because we had these relatively equal highs on the higher time frame, and on the lower time frame we had this trendline liquidity. But usually when we zoom here on the 1 minute, something that I usually see that it's a pattern trade that usually works is that when we have this huge momentum to the upside, usually what we do in this case is that we wait for us to tap the 50%, we wait for us to manipulate the 50%, and then we take the first inverse we see to the upside. And that was exactly what I did. I had a lot of conviction on this trade because I've taken tens of trades like this. I have taken a lot of trades like this, and here on the 2 minutes we created this order block, we inverted this to the upside, and here on this candle I took this trade till this high. Well, it ended up being a loss because here if you go on the 3 minute, this isn't the explanation of the loss, but here on the 3 minute the tree never closed. Now I had a lot of conviction on this trade because, as I said, I've taken this trade a lot of times, but the difference in this case is that we have the conflicting draws above and below. And when things aren't perfect, something that I already said, but I made the same mistake, is that when the market isn't on its best shape, we wait for everything to be a little better. And when we have conflicting draws here, what I should have done is wait for all the time frames to inverse, which I didn't. I had a lot of confidence and I took it on a 2 minute. I saw a lot of people take it as well on a 2 minute, and they took losses. Here, the best thing to do was for me to have dynamic sizing, and instead of going in with my normal size, I could go in with half size because I know things aren't perfect. I know we have conflicting draws above and below. So, because I don't have the same confidence as I did in the previous setups that I saw like this, I could go in with half size to protect my capital. I didn't, but here I should because we have these conflicting draws here. What we usually do as our dream scenario is we wait for one of the targets to be taken and then we take the inversion or the setup to the other side. And here something that I also forgot to understand was that overnight we had a lot of expansion, and during the day we had even more. So we had already moved 500 points, which makes this even worse. So this wasn't the best trade to take. In my opinion, this is profitable, and I think this has like a 60% win rate. It didn't on this case, but in my opinion this is a profitable trade that I would take again, but I should take it with dynamic sizing and half size. That's really it for my entire week. During the rest of the week I did see some good setups like this one on Thursday where we have this data low and we have this 1 minute and 30-second inversion to the downside. In my model this would probably be a break even, but because this is a one setup for life where we are targeting a data low, and here we have this is a protected high where we swept this high inside of our value gap and we enforce this with momentum and order blocks. Here we have a propulsion block. Here this would be a good trade for me to try and not place my stop at break even, because usually on my model when we tap this I go break even. That will make me get stopped at break even, but because this is OSFL and I still haven't tested the data, but I will, to check if I should or I shouldn't go break even on OSFL, one setup for life, because I have 2 years, almost 1 year and a half of data on my Notion, and I can see of all the OSFL trades that I've seen and I have taken since I started trading, I can see if they are profitable or not if I don't place myself at break even, and that's exactly what I will do. I will test that. And this was a really good trade for us to take. And on Friday, which was OPEX, and I usually don't trade OPEX, but this 1 minute to the downside is quite good. I know this is invalid, but if we go on a 30-second, this is better. I don't know if I would have taken it. I wasn't looking at the market. On both of those trades that I explained that I didn't take, I was looking at the market. I had some other things to do. Unfortunately, the market showed great opportunities when I wasn't looking at it. That's how it goes. That's what I have. This was a trade that I saw and took this week. I'll see if we can get something better next week. I always say this, but I need to change something because I haven't been in at my best in a long time. I've been losing for a lot of time, and this isn't funny. So something needs to change. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.